That new bike feeling. It's great, right? But you know what isn't great? Buying a bike. That feeling of disappointment and despair that you've just given a random stranger your life savings for a bike that doesn't work. But at least it looks cool. Unless it doesn't, in which case you're even more sad. So if you're into bikes, you've probably dreamt about having one, modifying one, working on one. You might have just thought they're too expensive, or that you just don't have the skills to get into it. Or maybe you just don't know how to buy one. I'm here to tell you, all of that's rubbish, none of it's true, and it's a lot easier than you think. Trust me, I've bought over 10 bikes in the last 12 months. It's becoming a problem at this point. Okay, so you might have bought a car, a bike, or something more trivial, you know, like a bicycle. You might have bought one of these in your life at some point. Now, you might have really liked your purchase, and you might have really hated your purchase. I don't know where I'm going with this. You're going to buy things that you like, and you're going to buy things that, you know, maybe weren't a good deal and that you weren't happy with. But it's important we try to avoid them because they make you sad. This story stems from the fact that I'm going on a road trip this year. Yay. And on this road trip there's going to be a wide array of riding. You're going to have things like town riding, motorway miles, and then obviously the twisties when I eventually get to the mountains. Now, this bike, my VFR, very good bike. If you don't know anything about the VFRs, I feel very sad for you. You should go look them up. They're great. This one's highly modified, very uncomfortable. It's like sitting on concrete. I'll be lucky if my wrists survive the first few potholes. Okay, so therefore I need a new bike. I'm thinking R6, Panigale, CBR, all great bikes. The R6 is very aggressive, just like my VFR. Panigale is very expensive and I am broke, and the CBR, well, that's a little bit boring in my opinion. It's more of like a sports tourer, which is good for, you know, my objective here, but I also do like, you know, the proper aggressive sports bikes. They look the best, we all know that. But before I actually go looking at any of these bikes, we need to talk about some of the things that I do when buying a bike, and also some of the things that I don't do, because they're equally as important. Okay, what I don't do is rush into a buy. You'll end up making a mistake. You might end up buying the wrong thing. You know, it might not be the exact model you want, or that exact one you're looking at has lots of problems. Just don't rush into it, all right? You need to know what you're doing before you go into it. You need to make sure that this one you're looking at is the right one. You need to watch the market. So what I like to do instead is I like to take my time. I like to watch the market for a couple of months, get a good idea of how much they're going for, do my research, you know as much as I can about the bike that I'm looking to buy. So when I'm standing in front of the guy and the bike, I know what I'm talking about. It's not like I'm sat there completely clueless, which I am most of the time, so I try and avoid that. I also like to know roughly how much I'm expecting to pay for it. You know, I like to set myself a limit, but I also like to know, right, this is what I'm expecting to pay. I also like to do a history check on the vehicle. Don't worry, no advert here. I've only got 400 subscribers. And then just all the other normal things, you know, go look at it in person, check it over, give it a test ride, get a general idea of the condition. Is there anything that's very broken that you can spot straight away? There's probably loads I'm forgetting, but you know, the main thing is check over all of the major items that we just went through. And most importantly, make sure that you're comfortable with what you're getting yourself into. You know, if there's things that are broken on the bike, make sure that you're comfortable that you can fix those things. For example, if there's a broken fairing, well, if you know in yourself that you can just buy another one and replace it, and that you have the skills and the tools to be able to do that, then it's not a problem. It's just as long as you know that you're comfortable in doing that, then you're okay. I also like to look at the bike and say, well, this is the worst case scenario. of this bike when I get it home. And then I look at that worst case scenario and think, can I handle it? Can I afford it? Can I resolve it? Can I fix it? Is it going to make me internally depressed? These are the things I consider. And if the answer to those questions are, I would have absolutely no idea what to do in that situation and I wouldn't be able to afford it, then probably don't buy it. But if the answer to that question is, well, I'll do this, this and this, and I can afford it, and I can be happy with that, then yeah, it's probably the right bike for you. Okay, so the mistake that I made when buying my newest bike, basically I didn't go and look at it in person before I bought it. And you might be thinking, why have you done that? That is the #1 thing that you do. Everyone knows that, and I get where you're coming from. However, the bike I've bought is a crash damaged bike, and that's just how those auctions work, or at least the one that I bought from. You're not actually allowed to go see it in person before you bid on it. However, they do provide lots and lots of photos for you to look at. 9 times out of 10 they're good enough for you. They're good enough for you to, you know, get a general understanding of the overall condition of the bike, which is normally good enough for you to make an educated decision on what you're getting yourself into and how bad the damage is and how much it's going to cost to fix. However, sometimes the photos can not show all of the damage. Not from anyone's fault, you can't see everything all of the time. Even if you were to look at it in person, sometimes you can miss things. I unfortunately found this out with my bike. Basically, there's a bit of damage on it that I wasn't anticipating. I should have, to be fair, I should have said, well, actually, I should plan for that. But, you know, if you're smart enough and you do your research and you're comfortable and you're confident and all that jazz, you can pick up a good deal. It's not as hard as you may think. Just get into it, really. You might be thinking, what did you buy? You'll have to look at the next video for that. We'll be going through everything wrong with it, which is quite a lot.